Friday the 20th. This was a fun day of training, actually. Everybody just maxes their snatch and clean and jerk Friday afternoon, and usually one of the more fun times of training. You see here, Caleb's hitting 130 and John's hitting 90. Caleb's always there and ready to go, quick, and John tends to run a couple minutes late most of the time. It was a nice 130 for Caleb, though. 135 for Kevin. 136 for Caleb. Nobody had missed at that point. There's James hitting 100. You can see James bobbling the bar a little bit. He's not landing on his heels. He's landing more towards the front of his foot, and that's causing him to really bobble on the catch. It was a nice 140 for Kevin. Here's a try at 141 to beat Kevin. You can see that it was almost there. Very, very close. Kevin takes a couple tries at 145 and does not make them. To kind of add that this has been that was a 147 attempt by Caleb Whitby. Had it over his head, locked out for a second. 120. James Tatum. Another 45 try for Kevin. I should add that this week has been fairly brutal. Guys have done lots and lots of volume this week. After a week like this, you can expect that most lifters are going to be 5-10 kilos off their PRs. And everybody was, for the most part, 5-10 kilos off. Caleb tried this 141, must have tried it 10 times, and it was over his head and locked out momentarily every time. That was a nice lift. Crappy camera work by me, but nice lift. 45 for John. You can see that he's forward there. The whole pull is forward. If you go back in slow motion, you can see he's right as he comes off the floor, he stays on the balls of his feet. He never gets back to his heels. That's 150 for John. And again, that one was just like Caleb's pulls, forward. Never gets to his heels. Forward the whole pull. You're not seeing quite the end of those attempts by Jessica. Blame crappy camera work by me. Especially right there. That was atrocious camera work. But I'm trying to watch the lifting and coach a little bit and run the camera at the same time. That's 155 for John. That was his best lift of the day. You're going to see him get way forward here. Forward again. And we're on to clean and jerk, which the clean and jerks are by far the most exciting part of today's practice. The snatches didn't really go well. I was pretty happy with John's 65. I wasn't too upset with Kevin's 40. I really wish Caleb was just a hair away from making 47, and it just couldn't catch it. Jessica attempted 73 2 or 3 times, which would have been a new PR. Didn't make it. But the excitement came in the clean and jerk. It was 140 by Kevin. However it happened, I'm not sure, but somehow John and maybe in Kevin, I don't know who really came up with it, but they decided that the lifter, John and Kevin lifting on that center platform, would be Team Stardust. And yeah, you're probably shaking your head. I don't understand it either. There's a nice 85 by Jessica. See how she steps through on this jerk, gets in front of it. She has problems with that sometimes. She's getting better. But anyway, they decided that they would be Team Stardust and, John and Tom would be Team Stardust, and Kevin and Caleb would be Team Deathstar, and they would add their totals up, and whoever had the highest combined total at the end of the day would be the winners. Pretty impressive by Tatum there. And so we ended up in the clean and jerk getting into a little situation where they were not only trying to win individually, But Team Stardust is trying to win over Team Deathstar. Here's 160 by John. What actually goes through their minds when they make up stuff like this, I'm not sure. Here's the first real challenging lift of the day. This is 170 by Kevin. He makes a pretty nice lift here. This is Jessica's attempt at she's already attempted a PR snatch a couple times. This is an attempt at a PR clean and jerk. And you can see she just doesn't step through it and get her head and her shoulders in front of the bar like she did on the lighter weight.
Look at that. Straight hips.
That was a pretty convincing clean and jerk right there. There's John with the same weight, 170. And Tom with the same weight again. I was happy with this lift by Kevin. I really was. He's not as consistent as I would like him to be with, 80. And you see him make it today, even though he was tired, beat up a little bit. I was happy with it. Now, he made 80. Right after that, John had to go for 81 to beat him. So here's John's 81 to go in the lead. This is when the competition got rather involved here. So John's currently in the lead on clean and jerk. Here is 82 by Caleb Whitby. He was going to attempt 80 initially, but after he saw John's 81, he felt the need to go for the win with an 82. He makes it there. Here's Tom trying to equal him. And he just gets stuck at the bottom of this dip and drive. You see the big pause at the bottom of the dip and drive? He has problems with that anyway, but that one was truly atrocious. This was Tatum's best lift, and I was quite pleased with that. Again, it'd be nice if I could get the camera actually to cover the whole lifter, but I was not happy with this lift. He pulled this plenty high enough to go under. He just chickened out, plain and simple. That's a miss at 87. This, Tom went back to 77 to put Team Stardust in the lead. So this was not an attempt for Tom personally. It was to put his team back in the lead. He tried to do the single legs. There you go. The celebration, because Team Stardust is now moved ahead of Team Deathstar. But Caleb Whitby with 85 to win the clean and jerk, put Team Deathstar in the lead. A little shaky, but he does it. Now after this was over, Tom appealed to me, and I lent him, well actually I gave it to him, one of my old WFW shirts. I was joking around that because it had Texas on the back of it, it would give him a little extra power.
All he needed was a little Texas on his shirt.
This is not to win the clean and jerk personally. This is to put Team Stardust in the lead. There you go. He was very happy with that. There is the great state of Texas on the back of it. This was kind of a fun practice. I mean, the guys made up the little teams and had at it, and it lent a certain element to it. And, considering the week, actually 2 weeks that we've had with a lot of volume, I'm not too unpleased with the numbers. Yeah, I wish Caleb Whitby would have snatched over 140. Wish John would have made an extra clean and jerk, and so would Kevin. But overall, I can't complain.